What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome on into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. On today's episode, we're going to preview a big Week 10 matchup. Denver sitting at 5-4, trying to avoid falling to 500, dropping 2 in a row on this road trip, and the Chiefs looking to remain unbeaten. So we're going to run through some injury news, some stats, and some keys to victory, along with my prediction at the end of the game, which I think you guys might like, so stick around for that. But what I don't like is this. We're getting our asses handed to us right now by the Chiefs reports in subscribers this month. So if you want to take down Kansas City on Sunday, start right now. Hit that sub button down below. Let's bring some momentum into Sunday's matchup. Now, let's go over the injury news really quick here. We're filming on Wednesday before the injury report comes out, but thankfully the Broncos did not suffer any major injuries during last Sunday's loss in Baltimore. They're still missing P.J. Locke with a thumb injury. Luke Wattenberg, by the way, has been on IR for his minimum 4 weeks, so he could be activated this week, but Locke is definitely the name to watch here as a potential starter to return. I think Denver really missed him on Sunday against Lamar and the Ravens. So fingers crossed. Well, he's got a thumb injury, so I guess he can still cross his fingers. But we'll cross the fingers for him. PJ, you get your hand in the right spot. And then Drew Sanders, he's on the PUP list, but they could open up his practice window soon. Remember, he ruptures Achilles back in April, and they always targeted a late October, early November return. And here we are, and they traded Baron Browning away, which means they have an open roster spot. They might use that for Drew Sanders. Now, let's talk about the Chiefs' injuries here. I don't really know what to make of Patrick Mahomes' injury. When I saw him get injured in the win over Tampa, I thought it was a hip injury at first, but he would later go on to say it's kind of an ankle injury and that he got banged up in the previous week against the Raiders. I fully expect Patrick Mahomes to play, but he may not quite be at 100%, but I really wouldn't discount it too much at all. Juju Smith-Schuster missed the Monday night game with a hamstring injury. Mecole Hardman and George Karlaftis both suffered injuries over the Bucs, but they returned to the game, so I don't think it's too serious on that front. So, all things considered, both teams are relatively healthy going into this matchup. Now, as for what to expect from a numbers standpoint, you've got the number 23 offense in Denver going up against the number 4 defense in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. That has been, the muscle and the engine for this Chiefs 8-0 run. Usually it's Mahomes in the offense. This year, you got to give credit to Spagnuolo and this defense for being unbeaten this far. It's a really impressive unit. The only thing they're kind of lacking is the takeaways, just 8 so far, so hopefully that's something Denver can somewhat capitalize on by not committing too many turnovers. Meanwhile, the Chiefs' offense, if you did a blind resume, you would not think this would be the offense of a Patrick Mahomes-led offense. However, the number that really jumps out to me in a little bit of a scary way is their ability to convert on third down. It's nothing new. Mahomes always finds a way to pull a rabbit out of his hat at the last possible moment and either scramble for the first or find an open guy or just get it to Kelsey. But like every single team playing the Chiefs, getting them off the field on third down is paramount. Now, we're going to give you guys my score prediction at the end of the video, but I want to hear from you first. Give me your score prediction right now. Broncos versus Chiefs. Denver beat them last year in Denver, ended a very long losing streak, going all the way back to when Peyton Manning was quarterback in this team. So can they make it back-to-back years with wins over Andy Reid? Let me know down in the comment section. My first key to victory for Sean Payton and the troops is turnover frenzy. This time last year, the Broncos were in the midst or early stages of what would be an incredible 5-0 run to get themselves back in the mix, and that was 95% fueled by the takeaways generated from this defense. Now, something that's really caught my eye this year is Patrick Mahomes is not his usual self when it comes to protecting the football. Look at Mahomes' interceptions through the first 9 weeks of the season the last 6 years. Back-to-back years with 9 picks through 9 weeks. Compare that to his first, 2019 and 2020. 1 interception in the first 9 weeks of the year. Look at the last couple of seasons. Now, I'm not trying to say Mahomes isn't what he is or what he used to be. No, he's still the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's probably not even that close. But he has a little bit of an Achilles heel right now, which is he tends to have some loose hands with the football. Now, I also took it one step further, and I wanted to see what undefeated teams that lost had happened to them to bring on that first loss of the season. And look at the undefeated runs the last couple of years. The Eagles last year were 5-0. The game they lost to the Commanders, they committed 4 turnovers. In 2022, when the Eagles also coincidentally lost to the Commanders, they committed 4 turnovers. And then ready for this? This was the Jets. This is the Commanders. And then 2020, when the Steelers were 11-0, they lost to the Commanders and they turned it over. So I don't have a great recipe for how you slay a dragon that's undefeated. But if I want to go off of history, and I love history, to me it says force some takeaways. Now, before we look at my next 2 keys to victory, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. So here are the selections that producer Reed cooked up for Thursday Night Football. He's got the more for Lamar Jackson's rushing yards. He's also got the more for Joe Burrow's passing yards, and then a more for Derrick Henry at 0.5 touchdowns. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. So after generating takeaways, what I want to see next is complete harassment of Patrick Mahomes. I mean, these two somewhat go hand in hand, but obviously it's easier said than done, and if anyone had a great blueprint how to defeat the Chiefs, they would be a defensive coordinator in the AFC West right now. But if we just want to go off of the numbers, look at Mahomes' record when he sacked 0 times, 1 time, 2 times. And then look at the wins really go down when he sacked 3 times and 4+ times. I mean, even a winning record, by the way, of 4+ times is astonishing. But if you get to Mahomes and you not just pressure him, but really take him down for sacks, this year their passing game is just not as explosive as it usually is. I mean, for starters, Mahomes is not pushing the ball down the field like he used to in 2018, 2019 with Tyreek Hill. You'd be surprised to see that a lot of Mahomes' average depth of target is not very far off in the line of scrimmage. I wouldn't say he's a dink and dunk quarterback, but blind resume, you'd be surprised that he is not the aggressive quarterback that maybe he was when he first entered the league, which kudos to him and Reed. They find ways to adapt and evolve their offense and still be successful and not be predictable every single year. So with that being said, you get them behind the sticks thanks to a Jonathan Cooper sack or a Nick Bonito sack, and an offense that hasn't had a lot of success at picking up big chunks of yardage, 10, 12, 15 yards in one play, and you're going to get them off the field. Now, this is obviously something easier said than done, right? Who wouldn't want to generate takeaways, and who doesn't want to sack Patrick Mahomes? But I think when we're talking about harassing Mahomes, a great way to do that is start blitzing the quarterback. And that is something Vance Joseph has done a very nice job of. The Broncos are second in the NFL in blitz rate at 40.5%, just behind the Minnesota Vikings. So if we're going to go down, let's go down swinging by sending the house to Mahomes. I'm not in this camp of, let's put everyone back in a zone and dare Mahomes to pick us apart. Oh, no, screw that. Remember last year when Denver beat Mahomes in Denver? I mean, they did it by generating 5 takeaways and generating a ton of pressure on him. Bring the hot sauce. Bring the heat. Harass Mahomes. Don't go home after this game and think, man, if only we blitz him a couple more times on 3rd down. I'd rather go down with that than go down with, Patrick Mahomes stood in the pocket against a 4-man rush and he diced up Denver. I'd rather go down the first way. Third and final key to victory, some 4th quarter aggression. This one is more just a little tip for Todd Bowles maybe the next time he plays in Arrowhead. But the Chiefs have had a lot of close games. And, I mean, of their 9 wins now, they're 8-0, 9-0. Look at how many one-score wins they have. If not for a quarter of an inch, week 1 with Isaiah Likely in the back of the end zone, that could have been an overtime loss. They beat the Bengals by 1 point thanks to a late heroic field goal. They get bailed up by the refs in week 3 in Atlanta. Week 4, they escape LA with a 7-point win. Somehow the Raiders have somewhat emerged as a team that has the Chiefs' number the last couple of games, I guess, but they only beat the Raiders by 7, and then they beat the Buccaneers in overtime coming from behind. This isn't new information, but it needs to be resurfaced. Don't give Mahomes a shot. If there is an opportunity where Denver maybe has a lead in the fourth quarter, and they can punt it to Mahomes and call on their defense, or they can try and go for the first down on like a 4th and 2. Go for the first down on 4th and 2. Do I trust Denver's defense more than Denver's offense? Yes, I do. Do I want to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes late in the game? No, I don't. So, if there's a moment where the Broncos are at a crossroads and they can punt it away and try and protect their 3, 4, 5-point lead, whatever it may be, or they can roll the dice a little bit and try and get the first and bleed some more clock, go with the latter. Now, which AFC West team do you hate the most? The Chiefs, the Raiders, or the Chargers? Let me know down in the comment section which team grinds your gears, which fan base you despise. I think a good tool to measure this would be when these 3 teams lose, how quickly do you go to their social media account to like the final score graphic they tweet out? That's probably the team you hate the most. Now, my score prediction for this game, I'm going to try and be a half-glass full guy here. It's not going to be easy at Arrowhead, undefeated Chiefs, but give me the Broncos. Close 1-point win, 21-20, because Sean Payton, with a very slim lead late in the fourth, keeps his offense on the field. And you know what he does? Maybe like a Peyton Manning rollout like against the Cowboys back then in 2015 it was. A little bootleg, use Nix's legs, get the first down, and just run out that clock. There is nothing like I enjoy more than watching Mahomes on the sideline when he has that look on his face of something's wrong. This isn't fair. I don't get to touch the ball again. That's not how this works. That's the best visual in sports when it all starts to sink in for Mahomes of, oh crap, I can't be the hero today. Before we go, I do want to give some shout-outs to the Blue and Orange Club. Thank you guys so much for being such loyal supporters of the channel. It's awesome to see, so many familiar faces and names during our watch parties and so many regulars as well. So thank you guys so much for going above and beyond to support us here at the Broncos Breakdown. If you enjoyed today's preview, let me know by commenting down below, liking the video, subscribing. All that stuff goes a really long way to help grow the channel.